Welcome, everybody, to the Soul of the Unexplained. I am your host, that guy, Jim. Is that my name, Roger? Jim with two M's. Do I got that right?
No, I think so. I
I
mean, the last time I checked, yeah, we'll go with that. Jim with
I
two M.
I can never tell these days. I just can't keep up. But suffice to say, I'm Jim Kelgard, and you're not. So cause to celebrate in that regard. But anyhow,
I'm
folks, in all seriousness, Roger, so good to see you back. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm actually doing pretty good. So went on my business trip to Japan, got sick over there, came back, and I've had to rest up. So it's been kind of a rough ride, getting sick while traveling international. But you know what? All good. I am happy to be back, and I do want to say thank you to John and all the others that helped assist Jim with the podcast while I was out. I'm very grateful for your support and yeah, looking forward to actually doing more collaboration, but with me involved in the podcast. So thanks everybody for your patience. Good to be back.
Absolutely. So good to have you back, buddy. And I have to ask, while you were over there, did you have any Godzilla sightings by chance?
Funny that you should mention that. Actually, no, no Godzilla sightings. However, if Godzilla were to do something, it would definitely use his nuclear breath to heat up everything. And let me tell you, record heat over in Japan this past month. And there were multiple days where the government issued alerts to say, go home, don't be out in the heat. It's really deadly, pretty much. So I enjoyed record heat, just like we're enjoying here in Utah for the last little bit. So, I can't even leave the country and get away from the crazy weather. But all in all, I enjoyed it and it was great. But if I do see Godzilla, Jim, I will snap some pictures and you'll be the first to know.
Fantastic. And yeah, it's one you mentioned the heat. I'm actually going from Utah, and next week I'm going to be in Arizona, where it's like triple digit temperatures all day and pretty much all night as well. So I'm going from like 101, 102 degrees here in Utah to what, like 114, 115 down in
A minor,
Arizona.
a minor difference, right?
Just just just
You won't even know.
just a tiny difference there. But anyway, awesome to have you back, and always good to have you back on the saddle here at the Soul of the Unexplained, Raj. Just we missed you, suffice to say that. So good to have you back, buddy. So today, folks, we are going to be presenting the official, well, official on our end. Not saying that we do this on behalf of anybody other than ourselves and our awesome subscribers and viewers and interested parties, I guess we would say. But we are doing our PhenomeCon 2024 primer and preview. And Roger, we did one last year for PhenomeCon, and for a long time, that was our most popular, our most often viewed video that we had up here on our Soul of the Unexplained YouTube channel. So hopefully this one will cater to just as many people, and people will find this every bit as interesting as the one we did last year. So what we're going to do, folks, is Roger and I are going to break down the activities day by day for PhenomeCon and talk about who some of the speakers are. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the add-on activities, and we're going to give our own personal perspectives on what Roger and I, this being our fourth year that we will be attending PhenomeCon, what we feel are the best things to participate in regards to both add-on activities and just regular breakout sessions and the various presentations that are going to be given all throughout the conference center during the conference. So suffice to say, Roger, PhenomeCon is an absolute blast. It's something that my calendar year revolves around because I love it so much. And I don't know about you, Roger, and I know I've said this many times, but when I go to PhenomeCon, it's gotten to be kind of like going to a family reunion, right? Because we've made so many
Absolutely.
good friends and so many great connections, and we've had so much success networking with people, coming across people such as Jeff Freeman, who has now become one of our best friends and one of our biggest cheerleaders for what we do here. And we got to meet Jeff. We got to meet Jay and Michelle Stratton last year was another highlight for me of people that I got to meet. So it's really just an absolute fun time during the days that PhenomeCon takes place. And this year, folks, for those of you that don't know, PhenomeCon is happening this year from September 4th through September 7th in Vernal, Utah. And it is I think out of all the conferences that I've ever been to, including like the Comic Con, well, not the I've never been to the San Diego Comic Con, the original Comic Con, but the great one that they do in Salt Lake every year, the FanX
Yeah, FanX, yep.
convention. I personally, I mean, now anybody that knows me knows that I am a huge comic book geek and Star Wars, Marvel superheroes. I mean, I'm basically a big man baby as far as all that stuff goes because I love that kind of stuff. I love science fiction. I love, fantasy, Lord of the Rings, all that great stuff. I played Dungeons and Dragons when I was younger. So that's how big of a geek and a dork I am, as if, by watching this podcast, you folks couldn't already tell how big of a geek and a dork I am. But I wear it with a badge of honor because those are the things that I'm passionate about. And PhenomeCon is one of those things that I'm greatly passionate about because I just I love the atmosphere that's there. And Roger, as we've talked in the past, when thinking back to the very first PhenomeCon that you and I attended, which was the inaugural season or the inaugural year of PhenomeCon 2021, we weren't quite sure what to expect when we signed up for it. And we initially only signed up, I think, to attend, what was it, one or two days, right?
I
And
think it was 2 days, yeah.
and we ended up staying a little bit longer because we had such a good time. And that just speaks to what a wonderful job that Bridget Lake and her colleagues, Leisha and Quinn, and all the folks that helped to make PhenomeCon happen. The people behind the scenes, the people that book the talent, as it were, that come in to present at PhenomeCon and just make everything such a truly unique and, more than anything, I would say, a welcoming and inviting experience. Roger, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so to kind of echo your same sentiments, PhenomeCon it's an amazing conference. It's an amazing conference that has like-minded people. Um, using that old Dungeons and Dragons reference, if you go to PhenomeCon, you are rolling a 20 on that 20-sided dice. You are getting that critical hit because you're gonna love it. And the reason I know you're going to love it is because both Jimm and I have loved every year. And yes, so I remember our first year there, we were like, okay, PhenomeCon, this is really cool. It's talking about paranormal, some of the topics that we were interested in. And, we didn't know what to expect. So I think we got 1 2 day pass, right? But I do know that after the first day, both you and I talked about like, wait a minute, like this thing is actually pretty amazing and it's in its infancy. And so I remember talking to Bridget and we're like, is there any way we can get an extension, pay for an extension and, actually stay the full time? And she worked with us and we were able to get, that extension. And normally something like that, I would think that's not a typical experience, especially with a first time conference. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. But it was so exciting because they brought in a lot of speakers and we really, I mean, that was the first year that we got introduced to Skinwalker Ranch, who, if you guys watch the podcast, you know that we are a huge fan of Skinwalker Ranch and everybody that takes care of the ranch there. But yeah, like from the beginning year and to the excitement this year, it just continues to grow. Like I have to say that we were talking about in I think our second year, just about the growth year over year from year one to year two. And that we were thinking like, man, year three is going to be like big. And year four, like just the if you haven't been to the conference center in Vernal, you'll understand what I'm saying if when you see this. Vernal, being located where it's at, you're not thinking of some big, huge conference arena like you would think in LA or some of the big major cities, or even some of the conference centers we have down in downtown Salt Lake, right? Because it's a little more rural, it's a smaller conference center. But it's state of the art, it's very, very new, and this year, I think it's going to be jam-packed. It's going to sell out just like last year. And I think there's just going to be no standing room left, which is really exciting to me because when you look back at that first year, I never could have imagined that in such a short amount of time, PhenomeCon has grown to the size that it has, and not only just here in Utah, but across the United States, and even more importantly, Jim, internationally. There are so many people that take the time that have the same passion and the same excitement coming from around the globe, so many different countries to come and share in that excitement. And, I can't wait to meet even more new people. And I'll just mention it briefly because we'll talk about it, during the course of this podcast. But we have made so many amazing friends over the years through the actual PhenomeCon, right? It's such a great chance. And you know, if you're like me, I'm a little bit of an introvert when it comes to big crowds and things. Um, you know, Overcome that. Don't be afraid. You have like-minded people. Introduce yourself. You'll make friendships that last a lifetime.
Could not agree more. And you don't need to feel bad about being an introvert, Roger, because I think that's one thing that people that meet me at PhenomeCon are going to be surprised by, because while I'm presenting the soul of the unexplained, or whenever you see me performing on stage, I'm a completely different person when I'm not in front of the camera or the microphone. I'm actually one of those guys that just kind of sits in the background and observes. I'm generally a very shy kind of person. Like I have a hard time approaching people, and I know it seems odd, but that's how I am. I'm a very uh, timid and kind of laid back kind of guy. Not the gregarious, overly verbose person that you see here on the Soul of the Unexplained. In fact, I remember, Roger, during the first year of PhenomeCon when George Knapp was there, and I was like, I really wanted to at least shake his hand and say hello to him. And we were standing literally like 5 feet away from him, and I still couldn't work up the courage to, just simply approach him and say, hi, just want to say thank you for all the awesome stuff that you do. And, you know, uh, I was too scared to do that. So yeah, folks, if you're going to PhenomeCon, I'm going to stick out like a sore thumb because, I'm a big, tall guy. You know, if any of you have ever seen Caleb in person, Caleb's a pretty big guy, big Marine, ex-football player, and I'm about the same size as Caleb, about the same size, same height. Um, Caleb's a little more muscular than I am because I'm working off the pounds. I'm actually doing pretty good about slimming down lately, but folks, if you see me, please feel free to come up and say hello, because I'm usually try to sneak in under the radar whenever I can. And yes, the black Stetson's always going to stick out, but I won't be wearing that every day at PhenomeCon. I will have it there, but I don't know if I'll be wearing it every day. Uh, but yeah, folks, Roger and I, we look forward to meeting so many new people out there. And those of you that are watching our podcast here, if you're going to PhenomeCon, please come say hello to us. We would love to meet you and love to get to know you a little bit better as well. So absolutely on that one, Roger. So Raj, why don't we start off, and let's just kind of quickly talk about who some of the amazing speakers are that are going to be presenting at PhenomeCon this year. It's like a veritable who's who of awesome people, right?
Right, right.
Eh, So Raj, why don't you just I'll let you pick five, and then I'll pick five. So go ahead and pick any five speakers just at random.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, it is okay. Number one, I'm just gonna say it's really difficult to pick just five because there are so many speakers here that if you go to phenomicon.net and look at the speaker list, you're gonna see a vast array of great people all across different fields. From the paranormal to cryptids. It's insane how many people that they've got this year. So I will try to stick to five really, really awesome people that I'm super excited that are going to be here. And so I've been a UFO or a UAP enthusiast, ever since probably since I was in my early teens. And so one person that is brand new this year that'll be talking to us is Ben Hansen. So Ben Hansen, if you are not familiar with, worked in the FBI. He was an FBI agent. He has done a lot of research into the UFO phenomenon and the UAP phenomenon, and it's amazing because he has done like many, many different shows on Discovery, Travel, Sci-Fi, Smithsonian channels. And the one that I really enjoyed the most was it's called Fact or Fake Paranormal Files. And he and his team just went out and did a lot of these research, like the research, and they went to various sites around the world to try to either prove or disprove some of the mythology around that. So again, Ben Hansen, super excited to hear what he has to say because he's so experienced. And again, you get a top-notch guy that has worked in the FBI, understands law enforcement, and he is a down-to-earth guy just like we are.
And I
So
believe
that's
he
number.
has ties to Utah, doesn't he?
He does. I do believe he
Yeah,
at least one point grew up here or lived here for many, many years.
yeah, that's cool.
So, um, secondly, again, this gentleman probably really needs no introduction, but he's the man. We love his work with LiDAR. It's the amazing Pete Kelsey. So for those of you that don't know Pete Kelsey, he is instrumental in helping Skinwalker Ranch and their scientific experiments. He has such a great background in lidar, in drones, and just the different technology around that. I'm could definitely probably go a little bit more into detail, but I will let you, our viewer, check out the BIOS page. But as you know, Pete Kelsey is an expert in his field, and the people of Skinwalker Ranch rely heavily upon his interpretations and use of the technology. So yeah, Pete Kelsey, super big shout out. He's also a musician, if I'm not
That's right.
incorrect.
Pete Brown socks, right? Hot Rocks Brown socks.
Exactly. So let's see, number three. I am actually so I've been a fan ever since the books have come out, but also the shows, but of David Pilates. So I really enjoy the 411 missing. There are a lot of cases, and he makes a really good point. He has a background in law enforcement. Um, and I admire that he has focused his in these past years on missing cases and why people go missing in a lot of different areas where there's people around, right? And just kind of the behavior of how a person has disappeared, whether they found evidence, and some of the evidence that they found is truly mystifying. Why would a person go the wrong way? Why would they, be so far away from where they were when these individuals knew what where they were going? And in the cases where they didn't find anything, why didn't they find anything? There should have been, if somebody had, passed away or something, there should be evidence left behind, but there's not. So if you're not familiar with David Pilates, excellent, excellent gentleman to get familiar with. And that is the missing 411.
Yeah, I would recommend to anybody, particularly if you have Amazon Prime Video, the Missing 411, The Hunted documentary.
Yeah.
To this day is one of the most compelling documentaries I've ever seen, regardless of the topic of study. That that documentary, which again is called Missing 411, The Hunted, it will send chills down your spine. And Dave Pilates, he presents everything in a very sensible and logical way that's easy to understand. And he's just, like you said, Roger, his law enforcement background really helps him to form these theories and hypotheses that he's put out there that are, I find, just absolutely fascinating. So I agree. I'm also he's one of the he's probably in my top five of people I'm looking forward to, hopefully at least working up the courage to go and shake his hand. So yes, I agree.
Yes, we will do that because that yeah, I'm amazed with the series that he does and the investigation and the work that he puts in. So, number four, you couldn't ask for a more genuine and down to earth, just amazing human being, and that is the wonderful Melissa Winterton. So, if you have not had a chance to take a meditation class with Melissa, you're in for an absolute treat. And she is not only an accomplished, entrepreneur, she's a composer, a meditation expert. I, I think, Jimm, I don't think I can do kind of the justice that you can because you actually went and did, and unfortunately, I did not have the availability to do it. But you sat through a meditation session. Tell our viewers what did you experience and how did that change you?
I mean this most sincerely, folks. My very brief meditation session, I went to this add-on activity last year called the Sunrise Meditation. And in every sense, folks, it changed my life for the better because it taught me that all the tools that I needed to be able to find balance within myself and to learning how to meditate and how to get in touch with my that 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 whatever you want to call it that's out there. What I was looking for, I found, and I was able to get in touch with through the meditation that I did with Melissa Winterton. She is 100% tuned in to whatever you want to call that great energy that is out there. And that's the key word I would say with Melissa Winterton is that she just puts off an energy that is absolutely outstanding. I mean, it's such a positive, wonderful, sincere and genuine positive kind of energy that Melissa exudes. And um I know we're going to talk about add-on activities here shortly, but that is one that if there's availability to attend her sunrise meditation, uh, you would be well served to sign up for it because it will be a very enlightening experience. Um, and just so you folks know, and you should know this from having watched the Soul of the Unexplained previous episodes that Roger and I have done, I'm not at all one of these new age kind of people. I'm very much, I consider myself a very, well grounded, well centered, very logical, very scientific thinking person, Raiders fan notwithstanding. But I love the way that Melissa presents everything because she's so genuine and open and sincere about it. And she's not trying to sell you on anything. She's just simply trying to teach you and show you the benefits of meditation and how doing meditation is actually something that can help you organize and balance your life and to find inner peace because that's what it did for me. That's what I was looking for it to do. And through her example and the very simple steps that she taught us, uh, I was able to do that. And it improved my life immediately and significantly still a year later. And, I still cannot thank Melissa enough for sharing with us not only her knowledge, but her wonderful spirit and her wonderful energy. So I also, again, excellent choice, Roger. I give a huge endorsement to Melissa Winterton, who, of course, is also the wife of Skinwalker Ranch Superintendent Thomas Winterton. So there's
Yep.
that too.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Jim. Yes, so super excited that Melissa will be returning as my fifth. So again, there are so many great people that are attending and presenting. It's hard to just pick one, but the one individual that I am going to mention here is somebody that I think that you will all enjoy. This individual has had so many experiences, is a friend to the Skinwalker Ranch team, has provided his insights, and I can't wait to listen to him speak, and that is Mr. Jay Stratton. So Jay is an incredible person, and I am so excited to hear his experiences. Um, and I know, Jim, you had an opportunity last year to meet Jay, and what an amazing thing. And I guess looking back at Jay and all his contributions, I'm really excited that this year that he's back at PhenomeCon, that he will be speaking and just sharing a lot of his wisdom and his experiences that he's had. I believe that through his experiences that there is so much that we can learn from. And I definitely, you know, as the Skinwalker Ranch team, no doubt has, leveraged his knowledge and his experience. I'm super excited again just to listen to that and really just to understand him not only as an individual better, but really how those experiences have shaped not only his career but his direction in life. So I will end my five there with the amazing Jay Stratton and turn the time back over to you, Jim.
I knew you were going to steal my guy. Jay was going to be like the first one that I picked, but no, no, no. Go ahead, Roger.
I know I
You
was
can
going
have
back and
it.
forth, but because there's so many again, right? There's just so many
Yeah.
great people. But if you want to steal them and even add more to that, you do it.
Oh, we'll talk more about Jay, a little more in depth about Jay's background here in just a bit. But I'll start off my list with like I said earlier, the guy that I forgive me was not brave enough to work up the courage to go and say hello to during the first PhenomeCon, and that is Mr. UFO, right? George Knapp, the legendary Peabody Award-winning investigative journalist that is really kind of like the elder statesman, if you will, of the UFO UAP uh, field. I don't think he would consider himself a ufologist by any means. He's just doing what he does best, which is investigate and report. And there is nobody better or more consistently on point in this topic, which is not an easy thing to do, Roger, because it's just filled with pitfall after pitfall, and thankfully throughout all these years we've had one voice of consistent uh, truth, if you will, that we can somewhat rely on, and that would be George Knapp. And so he's right up there toward the top of my list of people that I'm really excited to see at PhenomeCon. And then, of course, I have to give a shout out to the gentleman who is going to be the MC of PhenomeCon, and that would be the always awesome Greg Lawson.
Yeah,
I
Greg.
yeah, right. I just think the world of this guy. Greg is often referred to as the paranormal detective, right? And Greg comes from a law enforcement background. He, I believe, still works for the Texas Department of Public Safety, and uh, he one of the many things that he does is he trains other law enforcement officers into how to be a better investigator. So Greg is also a very well respected author. and I have a couple of his books. My favorite book of his was a book that he released a year or two ago called Roswell: The After Action Report, I believe is what it's called, and is without question one of the best books that I've read about the Roswell incident and the alleged cover up that ensued after whatever happened in Roswell happened. And Greg has written absolutely, in my opinion, one of the best investigative looks into that particular famous case. But really excited to have Greg be the MC, because anybody that's ever attended any of his presentations at PhenomeCon the past couple of years knows that Greg is just one of the most charismatic speakers out there. Just a genuinely interesting public speaker. He's funny. He's got great quick wit. I mean, just I love listening to the guy. So the fact that he's going to be guiding us through all of these wonderful speakers at PhenomeCon and being the MC is something that I'm really looking forward to. So, Roger, I'm really excited to have Greg Lawson coming back to PhenomeCon. And of course, another one I'm excited to see, and this is because he's one of the team members of Skinwalker Ranch, but this would be, of course, our good friend Caleb Bench. And I love the fact that we kind of see a recurring theme here, Roger, of law enforcement, right? And Caleb, of course, is part of the security team at Skinwalker Ranch, one of the investigators that participates in experiments and research out there. But he's also a law enforcement officer for I believe, the Duchesne and maybe the Uinta County Sheriff as well. Forgive me, Caleb. I should know that by now. But Caleb is another one of my favorite people, just because he's just a really good uh, human being, and he's just a wonderful person to be around. And his insights and his experience, his perspectives that he shares with us. Um, Caleb doesn't say a lot, but he's one of those guys that when he does say something, you pretty damn well better pay attention to what he's got to say, because he's a trained observer, and when he observes something, it's usually well worth taking note of. So every time that Caleb has been part of the presentations at past Phenomicons has been just really, really enjoyable. So he's one that I'm looking forward to. And of course, another one, and Roger, I don't really generally get into the realm of, ghost hunting and hauntings and things like that. But there's a gentleman who's returning to Phenomicon for the second time who was there last year. And that, of course, is David Schrader. And he's a guy that does he's a host of several of the ghost hunting and ghost adventure shows on the Discovery Channel and whatnot. And like Greg Lawson, David Schrader is just one of the most engaging speakers I've ever had the pleasure of listening to. He's got, like Greg, he's got an amazing sense of humor, and he's really, truly, genuinely invested in the investigations that he does. So, looking forward to seeing him there at Phenomicon again. And you know, I also got to say, Roger, another thing that I'm excited about, and I'm going to do two for one on this one. But Russ Acord and Dr. Maria Mayor of Expedition Bigfoot, and this will be their third time presenting at Phenomicon. But again, years ago, Roger, I was kind of on the fence about Bigfoot. Is it real? Is it just a myth and legend? And I have to be honest, Expedition Bigfoot really kind of made me get off the fence and lean toward believing that, yeah, there really may be something to all of these stories and mythologies about Sasquatch. What that might be, I have no idea. But if you watch particularly the first three seasons, and I would say even more so seasons 2 and 3 of Expedition Bigfoot, um, some pretty compelling things are found as they're doing their research. Now, in the past, there's also been Ronnie LeBlanc has joined them at PhenomeCon, but regrettably, it looks like Ronnie's not going to be joining them this year. And I'm not even sure if Ronnie's going to be returning for the upcoming new season of Expedition Bigfoot, which I think actually airs in another week or two. So I think
It
that
was
makes it.
announced.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's season 5 of Expedition Bigfoot is going to be airing like in just another week or so. But I, ironically enough, and maybe our viewers and subscribers can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not seeing Ronnie Acord, or excuse me, Ronnie LeBlanc. Sorry, Russ. It looks like Ronnie's is I haven't seen him appearing with Russ and Maria and Bryce recently. But that notwithstanding, folks, I am excited to see Russ and Maria again because they are also extremely interesting and engaging speakers that always give a splendid presentation every time they address us at PhenomeCon. So those are kind of the highlights of the people that I'm looking forward to the most seeing give their presentations at PhenomeCon, and in addition to the ones that you mentioned as well, Roger. So
awesome.
why don't we dive in here and start attacking PhenomeCon day by day and go through it. So, do you want to kick off with tell us what how everything begins on Wednesday?
Yeah, yeah. And before I jump in, I just wanted to say one thing is I do follow Dr. Mayor on multiple social media channels. And just recently, she announced that Ronnie actually left the team and he is not going to be in season 5. And Bryce and Russell have confirmed that. I don't know the specific reasons behind it, but he's on to new and other adventures. So on behalf of all the fun that I know, Jim, you and I have had in engaging with all of them at PhenomeCon in the past and watching Expedition Bigfoot, we wish him nothing but the best. So moving forward, so PhenomeCon. So this begins on Wednesday, September 4th. So at this point, we hope everybody has checked in. You've got some really good rest. You've got your walking shoes ready to go. Your minds are open and you are ready to believe. And that is where we are going to start Wednesday, September 4th. So what happens is, you're going to have each day, there's going to be check-in and registration. And so this year it's no different. That's, if you want to get there, you get checked in, make sure everything's good with your registration. But the thing is, you want to be in the building and ready to go by noon, because that is the welcome to PhenomeCon. And let's say I am so excited with our new MC. And you talked about um, having Greg Lawson here. So I'm really excited because what a way, just through his engagement and just how dynamic he is, what a way to kick off PhenomeCon this year. Super excited to do that. And so if you've never been to PhenomeCon before, each day is typically broken out by a lot of speakers, and then there's add-on events that you can do either in the morning or later on in the evening. And there's so many things that you can choose from. So let's break it down. After the welcome, the first person up is Ben Hansen, and he will be speaking from 12:15 to 1:45. And so if you're interested in, the UFOlogy, UAP, definitely, I think he's going to be a great presenter. And what a way to kick off the conference, especially with all the news that we've had lately over the last several years with UAPs and UFOs in the news. So, kind of what they do is, Ben Hansen's kicking it off. So you'll be in the main auditorium, the main conference hall. And these where, and this is what happens is where you're going to see a lot of like the main speakers, some of the more high profile people. And then in the afternoon, you can actually take a look at choosing a class or a presentation that you'd go to. So from 2:15, 3:45, we've got Tony Merkel and Scott Cassell coming up. And again, I'm just going to refer you back to phenomecon.net. So you can take a look at the bios and choose, if it's something that you're interested in, great, go ahead and attend one of those. In addition to that, there's also a third class or a presentation from Ryan Skinner. Of course, they have a few breaks throughout the day. Then they've got their 4:15 to 5:45 block, right? And you've got Sarah Lemos, Kent Smith, and then of course, one of our favorites is Pete Kelsey. So if you're interested in the work that he does, I would say that is a double thumbs up from myself and Jimm. And then also at the same time, they have a paranormal panel. I'm not for sure off the top of my head of who is going to be on that paranormal panel.
My
Uh,
my guess, and this is pure speculation on my part, folks, is that paranormal panel will probably include some of the Cypress Paranormal crew that always come in, and maybe David Schrader, perhaps, maybe.
yeah, yeah, most definitely. I think it'll be. I mean, you know me, Jimm. I am a little more than an enthusiast around paranormal and paranormal events based on my life. And so I think that if your interest lies in the paranormal realm, that is also one that I would recommend. Because I think that you'll be able to, have a good, Q&A with the people on that panel. And then, of course, because this is day one of PhenomeCon, we have an opening reception that night from 6:30, and that'll run probably, I know in the past, maybe 2 or 3 hours, where you can socialize, talk to other people. You're going to see a lot of the presenters there. And so take advantage of that. Really, I know in the past, Jimm, that we've really enjoyed the opening reception.
Mhm.
Um, we have, even though I know we were introverts and we've missed some opportunities, it's also been opportunities for us to kind of rectify that in some of the years past, just to talk to people and go up and shake their hand and talk to them about their experiences. So highly recommended. And again, this will be a great way to kick off the first day. Couple things that just wanted to mention that Jimm, you talked about. So they have these add-on activities. And so when you register, whether it's through like a 4-day general pass or your VIP pass or a single day, um, right? That day, Wednesday, right? So if you had that 4-day general pass, right? You get into the conference, you can choose to go to everything that I just mentioned, all those different speakers. Feel free to take notes, and you get access to these presenters that you otherwise would not have access to going throughout your normal routine and daily life on for the most part. But they do have some really, really cool add-on activities. And so one thing that I'm going to preface here now is that some, not some, but a lot of these add-on activities may be sold out already because we're so close to PhenomeCon. So if for some reason you are looking at an add-on activity and you weren't able to get into it this year, always be on the lookout, for when tickets go on sale early. I know they went on sale back in, what was it, April, or was it February?
It was March, I think, when tickets went on
Okay.
sale. March or
So
April. Yeah.
early in the year, and again, they have a lot of these add-on activities. And so what I would always encourage you to do is, if you miss out on something, there's always next year. Sign up for alerts, and especially if you register, PhenomeCon will be great in sending you when they add on additional add-on activities and people. So just to kind of give you a flavor of Wednesday add-on activities, so there is meditation with Melissa Winterton at 6:30. That is open. There's a hike to McKee Springs petroglyphs with James Keenan. You and I had been fortunate to go to the McConkey Ranch a couple years ago and see the petroglyphs there. Unfortunately, that is sold out. Uh, they have VIP dinners, so there are 3 VIP dinners that are happening on Wednesday night, one with Dave Schrader, one with Jay Stratton, and then, of course, one with Dr. Mayor and Russell Acord. Those are sold out, as you can see, very, very popular. People love to meet with them. So again, if you weren't able to get in onto any of those VIP dinners on Wednesday, definitely check the other days, and we're going to cover that. But also make sure you get your tickets early next year, and always look for those add-on activities. And then finally, something that one year I am going to absolutely do. I have not had the opportunity to do it yet. Is the downtown ghost hunt. And that is with Cypress Paranormal. That goes from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. That is sold out, and those typically go really well. And if you want to know what that is like, um, if you are friends with or you know Jeff Freeman from the J Free 906 podcast, he has been to that, and he would be an excellent source if you wanted to reach out to him and get to know his thoughts on that. So that pretty much sums up a very, very busy day from early in the morning to very late at night. So very, very exciting start to, I guess, PhenomeCon 2024, Jim.
It really is. And just to add my own 2 cents on a couple of things for Wednesday, uh, like Roger said, with those add-on activities, the add-on activities are some of the first things to go. Particularly, I can tell you there's one add-on activity that always sells out like that, and that would be the escorted tour of the perimeter of Skinwalker Ranch. That one always sells out. I think this year, and they do it on multiple days, but it's like you get on this shuttle that takes you from the conference center out to the perimeter to the gate of Skinwalker Ranch, and usually in the past it's been any combination. I think it's usually Dragon and Thomas that
Yep.
do that tour, and I believe they're doing it this year as well, both Dragon and Thomas. But I've talked to a lot of folks that have done that. I think it's one of the pricier add-on activities. I think it's usually like $100, maybe a little bit more. But everybody that's done it raves about how wonderful it is and what a great experience it is. You do not get to go on the ranch itself. You get to go down right to where the gate is, where the guard shack is. So you don't actually get to go beyond the gate there, but you do get a nice look at that area, and it's a pretty good tour from what I'm told. So, but if you want to get in on that, act quickly next year when they do it. So,
For sure.
uh, also the opening reception, you nailed it, Roger. It's one of my favorite things. And the past couple of years, and this is the first year in the last 2 years that they are not doing a Phenomicon film festival. And the first year that we did PhenomeCon, there was no film festival. There was just the opening reception, and it was a blast because they had really great food that they brought out, uh, drinks, and like sodas and sparkling water and juices and stuff like that are included in the price of your admission. And if you want to get beers or alcoholic drinks, there is a nominal fee to purchase those as well. But it's just a real laid back, easygoing environment where you get to mix and mingle and meet new people. And so the opening reception on Wednesday is one of my favorite things at PhenomeCon, which I'm happy to see them doing that, and maybe making it more of an emphasis for people to be able to attend and network and get to know each other. And then yeah, it's Wednesday is usually kind of like the day that they ease you into everything. And I think I'm going to be attending that Pete Kelsey presentation in the afternoon because I attended Pete's presentation last year and it was wonderful. He's a very, very good presenter, and he kind of gives you some great behind the scenes details on a lot of the stuff that he's done for both Skinwalker Ranch and Expedition Bigfoot and some of the other projects, like this amazing imaging project that he had for Alcatraz, right? Which was really
Oh yeah.
incredible. So Pete is definitely one worth making the time to check out the session that he does. But yeah, great way to kick off Wednesday for sure. So excuse me, folks. These dry conditions in Utah are kind of really having their way with me. So let's talk now about the second day of PhenomeCon, which will be Thursday, September 5th. So again, it begins with check-in and registration, and at 10 a.m. there's a welcome. You know, that's kind of like when you can kind of mosey in, refill your beverage, get some coffee, whatever the case may be. And then at 10:15 to 11:45, giving the first presentation in the main ballroom area is David Schrader, and that's sure to be a fun and lively presentation. Following David Schrader's presentation will be a lunch break from 11:45 to 1 p.m. And Roger, do you have that picture of the food trucks, the taco truck, handy?
I do. Give me one moment here and let me share the screen.
Fantastic. So yeah, folks, one of the things that I look forward to, and of course, those of you that are longtime subscribers and folks that like to watch the Soul of the Unexplained know that I am a huge fan of tacos. It's like my thing, and I'm happy to say that there's always an amazing taco truck that is present during Phenomenon for folks to enjoy delicious tacos and other treats. And that image that you see right there on the left there is some carne asada tacos that I got from this particular food truck that was there last year. So, yeah, great stuff. And so, Rod, you can take that one down now. And right after the lunch break, where we go from there is a presentation given by Nick Pope. Now, Nick Pope is another one that should need no introduction as to who he is. He used to be a member of the UK's Ministry of Defence that was actually in charge of their UFO uh, programs, I guess you would say, for a number of years. And he's also a cast member of the Ancient Aliens crew. So Nick is going to be giving a presentation from 1 o'clock to 2:30, and I'm sure that will be in the main ballroom as well. And that should be a really great presentation. Then there will be a break from 2:30 to 3 after Nick's talk, and then starting off at 3 o'clock to 4:30, there is a series of four breakout sessions. And the first one is this guy by the name of Jay Stratton. So some of you may be wondering, gee, I've heard that name, Jay Stratton, somewhere. Where have I heard it? Well, let me,
Dave Stratton.
yeah, right?
We talked about him a few times, maybe.
Yeah. So, folks, let me tell you a little bit about who Jay Stratton is. So, Jay Stratton was a defense intelligence senior executive, now retired, and is currently founder and chief operating officer of Quantum Frontier. A highly decorated officer with a career spanning over 3 decades, Mr. Stratton has made significant contributions across the national intelligence community. The Office of the Secretary of Defense, the Joint Staff, the U.S. Strategic Command, Naval Air Systems Command, and industry. His international experience includes diplomatic roles in 2 U.S. embassies and numerous military deployments. Jay has also served as a senior representative for the intelligence community with key congressional committees and as a senior advisor for the White House's Office of Science and Technology Policy. Mr. Stratton's distinguished career includes roles such as the first director and architect. Pay close attention to that, folks. Jay Stratton is the first director and architect of the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force. Yeah, Jimm can talk. So, UAP Task Force. He's the Director of Intelligence J2 at the Joint Warfare Analysis Center, Director of the Acquisition Intelligence Requirements Office, formerly known as Deep Red, with the Deputy Chief of Naval Operations for Information Warfare. He was the Director of Air Warfare and SPEAR at the Office of Naval Intelligence, or the ONI. He was the Chief of Air and Space Warfare and co-creator of the Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Application Program. OSAP, the program that later became the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, ATIP, at the Defense Warning Office. The Air Force's Project Blue Book in 1970, so he was involved in creating ATIP at the Defense Warning Office, Defense Intelligence Agency, the first U.S. government UAP program following the closure of the Air Force's Project Blue Book in 1970. The aerospace engineer, scientific and technical intelligence analyst at the ONI, and he was the aerospace engineer of an FA-18 flight test at Nav Air and a full-time reservist in A-10 weapons and tactics and operations at the 47th Fighter Squadron located in Barksdale Air Force Base, Louisiana. Mr. Stratton served over 27 years in the military, both active and reserve, rising from enlisted to commissioned officer in the U.S. Army and U.S. Air Force Reserve. He supported numerous military campaigns with significant deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan, retiring from the U.S. Air Force Reserve in November 2016. So, as you can see, folks, Jay Stratton is kind of a big deal, I guess you could say. And not only that, I can personally vouch he is one of the coolest, most down-to-earth people I have ever met. And that was undeniably one of the high points of my PhenomeCon experience last year, was meeting Jay and his amazing wife, Michelle. So really, really looking forward to Jay Stratton's presentation that he's going to be giving on Thursday, September 5th at PhenomeCon from 3 to 4:30 p.m.
And Jim,
So,
I just want to say really quick,
mhm.
this is why when you went through that, based on all of his experience, this is why I am so excited, because he has such a breadth and depth of life experience in things that are just what I feel very, very important to human existence. And so again, like you said, so excited to listen to Jay and understand and hear his experiences and perspective.
Absolutely, Roger. He is the first director and architect of the UAP task force, right? And he was the co-creator of the OSAP program. Uh, I mean, I guarantee you, after hearing Jay's presentation at PhenomeCon, I'm going to be like, Lou, who? Lou? Who's Lou? Who? Who is Lou? Who's this Lou guy? I'm far more interested in hearing what Jay Stratton has to share with us and to learn a little bit more about his own personal experiences and perspectives and whatever insights that he can offer, and getting it firsthand, directly from the source itself at PhenomeCon. Folks, if you wanted a reason to attend PhenomeCon, getting to hear a speaker that is truly was there and was part of these amazing programs that we're still learning about and still learning new things, then Jay Stratton is a shining example of why you should make the investment in time and money to come and attend PhenomeCon to listen to this gentleman speak, because he is truly a subject matter expert. He was truly there as part of these extraordinary, historically significant programs. And on top of that, he's just, again, he's an awesome guy. He's just one of the coolest people, and you will not regret taking the time to listen to what Jay has to say. And that's very easily one of my top 5 things that I'm looking forward to the most at PhenomeCon, is that presentation that Jay is going to be giving. So along with Jay, during that same time block from 3 to 4:30 p.m. in some of the other breakout session rooms that are there at the conference, will be presentations given by Cypress Paranormal Group. They're really, really cool people as well. Melissa Winterton will be giving a presentation, and that's well worth checking out. And then Richard Estep will be giving a presentation as well during that same block of 3 o'clock to 4:30. After that little block from 4:30 to 5 o'clock will be another half-hour break. And the closing speaker for Thursday will be William Henry, who, of course, is a member of the Ancient Aliens. I hate to use the word cast, but isn't that essentially what it is, Roger? I mean, but he's, William Henry, another guy who's really cool, really down to earth, and extremely knowledgeable about a number of phenomenal topics. So, some of the things that take place, and let me just pull this up here real quick. So on Thursday, some of the add-on activities for Thursday is there is a VIP breakfast with Russ Acord. There's a VIP dinner with Aaron Sagers, a VIP dinner with the man himself, Greg Lawson, and there's a VIP dinner with Nick Pope. And the VIP dinners run from 7 p.m. to 8:30. They are, again, add-on activities, and near as I can tell, all of those four VIP dinners, including the VIP breakfast with Russ Acord, I believe you can still sign up for those. Uh,
Yes, they are
and
open.
and then there is the behind the scenes dinner with the cast of Skinwalker Ranch. And Roger, that's an add-on activity that you and I have done every year that
Every year.
they've
Yep.
had PhenomeCon. So do me a favor, Raj, and I think we've got a picture of the behind the scenes dinner with Skinwalker Ranch as well, somewhere in there. Do we not?
We do. Let me pull this up here.
And folks, one of the great things, basically what goes on at the behind the scenes dinner with Skinwalker Ranch is they usually select an episode. And of course, as you can see there, you've got the whole panel of guys: Eric Bard, Caleb Bench, Travis Taylor, Dragon, Jay Stratton was up there last year. That's William Henry there on the end. And then off to the right that you can't see, we've got Thomas Winterton, and they basically select an episode of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch and tell us what some of the behind the scenes information is on what took place in that particular episode. So it's really cool because number one, you get to see the team banter and interact with each other, which is just an absolute blast. And the way that they, crack each other up and cut each other up is just, yeah, I mean, it's just amazing to see and to be a part of that. To see that side of the team members of Skinwalker Ranch that we don't get to see via the docu series. You get to see that these are real regular human beings that like to have fun, that find sense of humor in all kinds of situations that they find themselves in on the ranch. So it's really cool to see that. And then, of course, down the lower left hand corner, you can see there. That's what the dinner was like that they served last year. It was this absolutely delicious stuffed chicken and these great carrots and there was a great salad and dinner roll served with it. And then the real treat, no pun intended, is right next to it there on the right, on the lower right hand portion of that image there is the dessert, right, Roger? They
Oh, this
always
is
have
amazing.
these amazing cookies that are, made in the shape of an alien head. And this last year it was made out of gingerbread, I think. Tasted absolutely incredible. And then, of course, beneath that cookie is a homemade apple crisp, apple cobbler kind of type thing. So you get a fantastic, delicious dinner. You get this wonderful dessert, this really cool and creative dessert that's equally delicious. And then you get to, hear the Skinwalker Ranch team give you kind of the inside scoop on what took place during some of the most extraordinary episodes of this past season. So something to really look forward to with that, Roger. And again, like those other VIP dinners and the VIP breakfast that we mentioned a short while ago, um, there's still availability if you want to sign up for that as an add-on activity. $75 is what the cost is on that. There will also be a UFO Valley campground bonfire and dark sky viewing. You can sign up for that. That's $50. There is a medium gallery reading with Sarah Lemos, who is one of the presenters at PhenomeCon. That'll be happening from 8 p.m. to 9:30. There will also be stargazing at Steinecker State Park, and there's no shuttle for that. So if you sign up for that, you will have to drive yourself there. And there's a VIP lunch with William Henry taking place that day, but that is sold out, as well as a dinner with James Keenan that is also sold out, and the downtown ghost hunt that you talked about, Roger, as well, that is again also sold out. So once again, a reminder, folks, some of these add-on activities they sell out pretty quickly when they are in demand. And but yeah, I cannot say enough good things about the Skinwalker Ranch behind the scenes dinner. It is so much fun. Uh, I Roger and I have done it every year since the very first year of PhenomeCon. We're doing it again this year, and I definitely give two thumbs up for that. So, Roger, take us into Friday.
Yes. So coming into Friday, day 3. Again, as Jim stated, you've got at 10 a.m. You've got your welcome. You know, you can get ready for the first presenters of the day. They're in the conference hall. So starting at 10:15 a.m., you've got the amazing and always funny Dr. Travis Taylor, who likes to say phenomenon. I can't tell you how many times, you know, I've heard so many people do the Southern accent and count how many times he says, now the phenomenon on the ranch. So, yeah, sorry, Dr. Taylor. No offense intended there. I just love the Southern accent and love the fact that you say phenomena so many times. I have to count each episode.
What the crap, Roger? What the actual crap?
Exactly, exactly. So I know the team at Skinwalker Ranch also give them a good time about that as well. But we've got Dr. Taylor there, along with Nick Pope and William Henry. And as Jim alluded to before, they are all on Ancient Aliens as well. And so they're very familiar with each other, looking forward to that discussion and what they have to say. And of course, you know, right after that, you've got the lunch break. So don't forget to go out and find your favorite lunch. Jim and I, we are going
Tacos.
tacos again. Tacos every day. You can't go wrong with tacos. So coming back,
Ever.
it's
Ever.
it's true. And if there's ever been any doubt in your mind, tacos with cilantro, excellent.
That's the only way to eat tacos. You got to have onions and cilantro.
Exactly, exactly. So with that, after that break, come back energized, and we have somebody that needs no introduction as well, if you're familiar with The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. But looking forward at 1 o'clock to Eric Bard. Eric Bard, the principal investigator there at Skinwalker Ranch. Always a great time listening to him and his insights. Jim and I have had the opportunities in past years to speak to him personally, and once again, a very down-to-earth gentleman. I can guarantee you, you will enjoy his presentation. And then after that, a short break. And then, of course, we're going into our 3 to 4:30 time slots where you have a variety of people. So, number one, James Keenan, who's an anthropologist. You know, if you like to dig into the history of the area and whatnot, I would recommend doing that. You have Robert Kiter. Additionally, you have an additional paranormal panel. This one is specific and says Aaron Sagers, Dave Schrader, Richard. I hopefully I don't mispronounce his last name, but Estep or Estep.
Estep, I think. Yeah.
Step, and then of course Ben Hansen. So definitely if you're again into the paranormal, that would be an excellent panel to go to. And then the one that again I'm excited as well for David Pilates. I think he'll have a lot of great information. And then you have a short break, and then you come back at 5 o'clock. And again, this man needs no introduction, but Dr. Travis Taylor. And if you have been to previous Phenomicons, you know that Travis is a no holds barred. He's going to get up there. He's going to present. He's going to share his views, his investigations. As you'll find out if you haven't been to PhenomeCon, Dr. Travis Taylor is a man, a very passionate man about the subjects that he is an expert on. And so I can't wait for that.
And
They're
there is
always
no filter on him, which is why
no,
it's
no,
so
he does not
awesome.
have a filter, which always makes it
No
really
bullshit.
enjoyable as well. Yes. So again, no holds barred there. You get the real Dr. Travis Taylor, because the one on his personality on Skinwalker Ranch is a little bit toned down, right? You don't see the some of the in-depth and some of the word choices that he does present in real life, which always makes it even just so much more fun, in my opinion.
Could not agree more.
Yeah, and if you take a look at the Friday add-on activities, so Jim, Fridays has always been one of our most favorite days, and the
Yes.
reason I say that is because if you look at the activities for Friday, and it's still open. The first one I'm going to talk about here is the Voice of Believers open mic and dinner. So let me go ahead and just share my screen here again. So you've got the Voice of the Believers, and Voice of the Believers, if you have not been, this is such a great open mic. It's a group of people from all walks of life, everything from, different backgrounds, different jobs, different careers, different cultures. But the reason this is such an amazing thing is that everybody gets together, and this is a safe space to talk about whatever paranormal or whatever experience you've had, whether it falls into, again, that paranormal realm, the cryptid realm, whether it falls into the UFO, UAP realm, or anything that you've just found, I have no explanation for this, but you know what? I'm a little bit afraid or scared to talk to somebody else about this. This is such a great opportunity. Everybody here has gone through some type of experience, and you are amongst friends. And it's great because you can get up and you can share your experience and listen and know that there are like-minded people out there that have had similar or equal experiences to you. And it's a great way to, if you've never had a chance to share something like that with somebody, this is a great way to do it. And I would thoroughly invite you to get up there and share. Again, you're amongst friends. And I know when I've shared, I know, Jim, when you've shared, we've had a lot of people come up after and express their thanks for sharing that and that it took courage, and they've talked to us more about their experiences. So again, like it is an amazing event. But what makes it even more amazing as well, Jim, is the buffet style food that they have there. And you know what? I can't do it justice. Jim, tell us about the amazing culinary experience you will have.
Yeah, Jim likes food, quite obviously, so we'll let him talk about the food. Yeah.
Jim loves
Uh,
the food.
yeah, I do. And I do, believe me, folks. But yeah, so uh, before I touch upon the food here, I just want to echo what you've been saying, Roger. If there is one event at PhenomeCon, one singular event that I believe encapsulates what PhenomeCon is all about, it is the Voice of the Believers open mic and dinner. Without question, hands down. It is the one can't miss add on activity of PhenomeCon. If you only decide to do one add on activity throughout PhenomeCon, make it the Voice of the Believers um,
Yes, agreed.
open mic and dinner, because there's nothing else like it. And like you said, Roger, it doesn't matter if you have an experience or a story to share or not. If you just want to go there to listen, you can do that too. You don't have to get up to the microphone to talk about it. But the most amazing thing happens, and this is what I myself experienced the very first time Roger and I attended this event at the very first year of PhenomeCon, is as you sit there listening to people tell their stories, listening to people tell their experiences. And again, it can be anything from UAP and UFO sightings to Sasquatch sightings and encounters to ghosts and hauntings. And we even had one guy that was an alien abduction victim that got up and told his story one year. So the most extraordinary thing happens, though, as people are telling their stories and telling their experiences, and that is they gain strength and courage from each other for the very reason that Roger mentioned, and that is you find out that you are not alone. You find out that there are other people out there that have had weird shit happen to them. And sometimes that's all that you need to hear is to get that feeling that, gosh, I'm not this crazy person, because this person over here who is completely sane and normal might even be a doctor or a lawyer or who knows what else. They had something really strange and freaky or creepy or unexplainable happen to them. And it all coalesces into this most extraordinary event, because the images that Roger just shared there of the event last year that I took photos of, it's in this beautiful setting of Remember the Main State Park, which is a beautiful state park here in Utah, just a little ways outside of downtown Vernal. It's in this beautiful Red Rock Canyon. And so the pictures, obviously, that you saw a moment ago were from taken before the sun went down. But once the sun goes down, they have this fire that they light, like this small bonfire, and everybody just kind of sits around and they start sharing their stories. And it's really a very special moment. And if again, I cannot give it a stronger endorsement than to say if you're only going to purchase one add-on activity for PhenomeCon, this is what you should invest in. This is the one that will keep you coming back to PhenomeCon time and time again. And I mean that most sincerely. Now, to the food, right? Because Jim's a big guy and he's got to talk about food because, yeah, okay, I'm always hungry and
And that's not why I mentioned you.
I love good
I just
food,
know that
Raj.
you are an amazing chef and you have prepared some of the most delicious food that I have ever tasted.
Well,
And
thank you.
so give it credit. I think that your background and experience would do much better than me trying to explain it.
So, well, thank you, folks. Thank you, Roger. That's a huge compliment. And yes, along with music, my other biggest passion is cooking. I love cooking. But that notwithstanding, folks. So, as part of this Voice of the Believers open mic and dinner, the dinner portion, as you saw just a moment ago with the pictures that Roger put up there, is this extraordinary Dutch oven barbecue dinner, and it has got they have barbecue, slow cooked Dutch oven cooked barbecue ribs, barbecue chicken, au gratin potatoes, and they have a salad option for folks that are maybe not carnivores like myself. And then this other amazing thing that they have that they also make in the Dutch ovens are these homemade cobblers. Like last year, there were six different varieties. There was an apple cobbler, a peach cobbler, raspberry, strawberry, blueberry, and I know I'm forgetting another one, but there was like five or six different kinds of cobbler with fresh homemade vanilla bean ice cream. And I'm here to tell you, folks, it is one of the most delicious dinners that you will have at PhenomeCon. And that's included in the price is this amazing dinner. So you really get this incredible scenery, this incredible setting where this truly unique event happens. You get to hear these incredible stories and encounters that people are sharing, and you get to have this truly five-star barbecue chuck wagon almost style dinner at this particular event. So, Roger, I give it two big thumbs up, and if I could give it 10, I would give it 10 thumbs up because this, again, to me, is the one event at PhenomeCon that encapsulates what the spirit of PhenomeCon is all about. Is this open mic and dinner, the voice of the believers? So I've said enough. I'm going to shut up now. Continue.
Couldn't agree more. although not about shutting up. Couldn't agree more about your statements made about the open mic and going to the Remember the Main Park. It's a beautiful experience, and I'll echo what Jimm said. If there is only one activity that you can do, I would highly recommend this. So, jumping in, the other activities for Friday, there is a VIP breakfast with Jay Stratton from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. That is still available. There are seats there, $75.
And Roger and
There,
I are attending that, so you can join us having
yes,
breakfast with
yes,
Jay.
we'd love to see you there.
And I promise
Uh,
not to steal anybody's bacon. Maybe.
Jimm, don't make promises you can't keep.
You're
Um,
right.
All right, then we have the hardware behind the OMG with Pete Kelsey and Eric Bard, and that's at 8:30 a.m. That is still open, $50. And then, of course, you have the Sunrise Meditation with Melissa Winterton at 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. That is $25, still open. And okay, guys, this is I'm gonna tell you because I'm really shocked at this right now. But it says there's an escorted trip to the perimeter of Skinwalker Ranch with Thomas and Dragon from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. It is not sold out. So for $100, you can sign up for that. So I think that that'll probably go pretty quick. So as we get closer, that is there. There's a behind the scenes lunch with the expedition Bigfoot, and apparently it's Dr. Mayor's birthday bash.
Ooh.
That's from 11:45 a.m. to 1 p.m., which is $75. That is open. Um, okay, Jimm, I'm gonna say they've added additional escorted trips um, to the perimeter because they have one that evening on Friday evening from 6:45 p.m. to 9 p.m., which
Mhm.
is not sold out for $100.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So
I mean,
I think,
that's like,
yeah, yeah. So from when I looked at this last, that was not the case. So I believe
yeah,
that they've added more there because
that's
that
that's
always goes very, very quickly.
that's usually one of the first events to sell out is the guided tour to the perimeter of Skinwalker Ranch. So if they've opened up some new opportunities to get in on that, if that's your thing, folks, get in on that while you can.
You guys, I'm saying right here, Friday is the main day. There are so many open things. So there is a remote viewing workshop with Paul Smith from 7 p.m. to 8:30, $50. It's open. The Ancient Aliens panel dinner with William Henry, Nick Pope, and Travis Taylor, 7:30 p.m. To 9, $75. Not sold. There are openings there. There is a VIP dinner with Tony Merkel that is, it doesn't say specifically what time. I would assume it's in that 7 p.m. to 8:30 range or whatnot. It's open, $75. Um, they have stargazing at Dinosaur National Monument from 9 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. That's only $15. Again, there's no shuttle, but if you've never been out to Dinosaur National Monument, it is beautiful country and the skies are amazing. Beautiful there. Um, all right, a couple of the ones that are sold out. There's a VIP lunch with Dragon or Brian Dragon Arnold. That is sold out. VIP lunch with Caleb Bench. That is sold out. If you were able to get to that, Jimm and I will be there as well. So say hi.
Mhm.
There's a VIP dinner with Eric Bard that's sold out. VIP lunch with Dr. Travis Taylor that is sold out. And then, of course, the downtown ghost hunt that evening from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Is sold out. So again, as you can see, there are a lot of open add-on activities. Again, our favorite there for the evening is the Voice of the Believers. But with that, you have a lot of options there. And whatever suits your fancy, I would go in there and add that as quickly as possible to get that on your agenda or itinerary. And with that, let's jump over to Saturday.
All right, folks, time to wrap up this conference for the activities that are coming up on Saturday. So once again, starting off at 8 o'clock in the morning is check-in and registration for folks that are going to be late arrivals to the conference. And then you have a little block from 10 a.m. to 10:15 where you can kind of mosey in, find your seat, and get your beverage for the day, whatever the case may be. And then the first presentation on Saturday morning in the main ballroom at 10:15 to 11:45 is Russ Acord and Maria Mayor of Expedition Bigfoot. That's always a wonderful discussion to be in on. And then there will be a lunch break from 11:45 to 1 o'clock. Again, go outdoors and hit those food trucks, folks. There's some great choices out there, especially, of course, tacos. And then after lunch break is the one of the marquee events of PhenomeCon. From 1 o'clock to 2:30 in the main ballroom will be the Skinwalker Ranch panel, which of course will feature Thomas Winterton, Travis Taylor, Eric Bard, Bryant Dragon Arnold, and Caleb Bench. And they'll just be talking about the many extraordinary things that happen out there at Skinwalker Ranch. At 2:30, there'll be a half-hour break, and then we reconvene at 3 p.m. And from 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m., there is another breakout session with David Pilates, as well as Aaron Sagers, Paul Smith. Again, he's the remote viewing expert, Paul Smith. And Ben Hansen will be doing a breakout session. And then there will be a break from 4:30 to 5. And then the closing speaker for PhenomeCon will be the man, the myth, the legend himself, George Knapp, will be giving the closing presentation at PhenomeCon from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And then, folks, something happens after George Knapp is done. Right, Roger? So the
Yes.
after George Knapp is finished, it's beginning at 7:30, from 7:30 to 10, we have the closing reception and costume dance party. And so, of course, that's when they bring out, again, this amazing buffet style food. There's this great charcuterie board that's out there. So these great meats and cheeses and crackers that you can have, several dips, but also, veggie tray, fresh fruits as well. And of course, some other dishes as well. I think there's like last year they had some pasta dishes and different things like that. So it's really cool. The food and it's really high quality, great stuff. Same deal as with the opening reception. The sodas and waters and things like that are free and included in the price. And if you want beer and alcohol, there is a nominal fee to purchase the alcoholic beverages as well. But shortly after, I would say maybe even around 8 p.m., there's another event that's going to be happening at PhenomeCon during this closing reception that is a first for PhenomeCon. And that is, of course, the long rumored and long asked for, at least from Skinwalker Ranch insiders like me and you, Roger, there is going to be a live music performance by a band called Hitchhiker. And so, who is Hitchhiker? Some of you may ask. Well, Hitchhiker is the music project of Dr. Travis Taylor and Jay Stratton. And they have this great band called Hitchhiker that does covers of classic 80s and 70s rock and roll. So we're talking stuff like Leonard Skinner and Bon Jovi, Motley Crue, Van Halen, all kinds of great stuff, and some newer stuff as well. Some I think we're doing a Shine Down tune, and we're doing a Nickelback tune, and some other stuff like that. But also, members of this particular band, Hitchhiker, is none other than a gentleman that I'm really excited to see at PhenomeCon, a gentleman by the name of Micah Hanks. And Micah Hanks is the editor of The Debrief. And those of you that are familiar with The Debrief know that it is one of the most outstanding resources out there for science and the UAP, UFO phenomena. Really kind of no BS, very logical scientific approach to all the articles that The Debrief does. And really one of the best sources to get some information from that is legitimate and credible. So Micah Hanks is going to be participating in this band as a guitar player and singer as well. And also Micah's brother Caleb, who is a phenomenal drummer, is going to be part of the band. And then Roger, believe it or not, our sometime co-host that fills in sometimes for you is John Nyberger is going to be playing in the band. He's going to play bass guitar. And
Amazing.
how awesome is that, right?
That is
And
phenomenally awesome.
there's there's somebody else that's in the band. I
Is
who
it
is
is
who,
is it
he
is it
likes
the guy with
he likes tacos or so I've heard.
well, there's a rumor, and I don't know if this is a good or bad rumor, but I hear that this guy is a Raiders fan. Do Raiders fans actually play music?
Well, that's always kind of a subjective viewpoint, wouldn't you say?
I mean, it could be, but you know what? I would really say that it's an honor to say Jim Kelgard, our great host and friend, will also be playing in the band Hitchhiker with the aforementioned people. Amazing. Amazing. I cannot wait for this.
That is true, folks. The rumors are true. I will be a performer in Hitchhiker along with Dr. Taylor and Jay Stratton, Micah and Caleb Hanks, and also John Nyberger. And I will be playing keyboards and synthesizers and vocals as well. I'll be doing backing vocals. And I got to tell you, folks, it's been a lot of fun learning the songs that we're going to be performing. You are in for such a treat, folks. You mentioned a moment ago about Raider fans and music, Roger. It's known that Raiders fans tend to be big AC/DC fans, and because I'm a Raiders fan, I am a huge AC/DC fan, and I'm happy to say we will be playing not one, but I believe two AC/DC songs during this performance. So really
Amazing.
excited. Now, those of you that are familiar with the music that I do on my own, you know that I come from the realm of OMD, Depeche Mode, Pet Shop Boys, New Order, Duran Duran, uh, stuff like that. That's more the because I'm a synth guy, right? So I'm all into the synth pop and the new wave stuff. But I'm also a huge classic rock fan, and a lot of these bands that we're covering, a lot of the songs that we're doing for this Hitchhiker presentation are some of my all-time favorite songs. So I'm really excited to be a part of this. And of course, I can't say it enough. I am completely humbled and honored uh, to be able to have this privilege of playing on stage with Jay and with Travis and with the always awesome Micah and Caleb Hanks, and of course my favorite Denver Broncos fan in the whole world, Mr. John Nyberger, as well. And I, uh, I'm just hoping that I don't cock things up when I get up on stage because normally I'm not nervous when I perform on stage. I'm usually I get into the right headspace and I'm just focused and I have this laser focus and I do it and get the job done as best as I can. But this time, this is going to be the one of the biggest opportunities I have now. Roger, I've opened for some of my favorite some of the bands that I grew up listening to. I've opened up for Alphaville, Forever Young. I mean, I got to open for them back in the '90s. I got to open for Anything Box, which most of our viewers and subscribers probably have never heard of Anything Box, but in the synth pop world, they're a pretty big deal. Anything Box, and then my projects that I've worked on with Paul Humphreys of OMD and Martin Gore of Depeche Mode. And, uh, you know, this is actually something that I'm far more excited and nervous about than I ever was about any of those other opportunities that I've had in the past of working with some truly well known and well respected people. So, win, lose, or draw, folks. I'm just excited to be on board for the ride, and I'm going to enjoy every bit of this. And I know we're going to put on one hell of a show for everybody. So another reason to come to PhenomeCon, if nothing else, is come for this what is sure to be one heck of a fun and entertaining live performance, where you get to see Dr. Taylor and Jay Stratton performing
Play
live,
music.
playing
Yeah.
live music. Who else does that? I mean, that would be like, gosh, I can't think of anybody in recent history as far as like I guess, if you're thinking in terms of US presidents, Bill Clinton played the saxophone, right? But, you know, for those of us that are, geeks about Skinwalker Ranch, like me and Roger, and that are into the UFO UAP topic, this is huge. This is like these are our rock stars. These are our superstars. These are our A-list celebrities in the field. And to get to see Jay and Travis on stage is it's going to be a real treat. Really looking forward to that. How about you, Raj?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to enjoying the show. And Jim, I'm gonna say I have had the honor of not only watching you perform, but on many occasion performing with you. And I have no doubt that not only you will do a superb job, but John, Caleb, Micah, Jay, Travis, all you guys together are going to put on one hell of a show. And I am looking forward to it, and it will be an amazing experience.
I'm really looking forward to it. And just an interesting side note, folks. I've heard through a very dependable source, and in this case, the direct source herself, Michelle Stratton, has informed me that they are going to get a limited number of Hitchhiker T-shirts. So if you want the official T-shirt from Hitchhiker the band, you will have a rare opportunity to get in on that. And Roger, I think we actually have an image of what those T-shirts are going to look like. And folks, the logo design is really cool. But I'm here to tell you, when I say extremely limited, I mean extremely limited. There's going to be definitely less than 100 available, and might even be less than that. Might even be 50 or less than that. So uh, I'm sure that in the coming days and weeks, there will be an announcement about what the pricing of these will be. I'll leave that up to Michelle Stratton to communicate that. But if you're coming to PhenomeCon, I guarantee you these T-shirts are going to be one of the hot items that you're going to have to get your hands on because sure to be a collector's item. These T-shirts. So me myself, I'm hoping I get one of those black ones there because being a Raiders fan, I love my black T-shirts, black Stetson. Kind of see a theme here. Silver and black are the Raiders, right?
I think they all look nice, but I definitely myself like the black as well. The black and white, it just has a nice crisp look to it. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it really does. And so again, folks, there will be a limited number of these T-shirts available at PhenomeCon, but you'll want to act quickly when they become available. And for more information on that, just if you're a Skinwalker Ranch insider, just I'm sure we'll turn to Michelle for further information on the when and the where folks can see about getting their hands on one of these rare T-shirts that will be made available during PhenomeCon at the uh, the special performance of Hitchhiker. And I also understand there's going to be hats as well. There's going to be a hat as well as these T-shirts that are going to be available. But again, the key word here is limited supply. They are a limited number. So get on it, folks, as quickly as you can, as they become available, of course. So yeah, folks, the Saturday is going to be talk about going out with a bang. Uh, George Knapp is going to be batting cleanup as far as the speakers go. That's always something to look forward to. And then capping everything off with the live performance of Hitchhiker and playing the greatest rock and roll hits of the 80s and 1970s. I'm I'm excited. Even if I wasn't performing in the band, I'd still be excited because Saturday is always a fun day at PhenomeCon with the closing reception. Um, it's just the perfect way to end the evening. And this year, having live music, having a live band, and that live band being Travis Taylor and Jay Stratton is just the icing on the proverbial cake, you would say. Definitely something worth checking out. And so that essentially wraps up all 4 days of PhenomeCon. And Roger, there are several options for people that have not yet bought their tickets. You can still buy a 4 day pass, and there is also an option to get a 2 day pass or a single day pass. I believe the 2 day passes are $100, and the single day pass is 50, and the regular 4-day pass isn't like 130, 135, Raj?
135 for the general admission 4-day
Yeah.
pass. Yep.
And of course, Roger and I, we recommend the 4-day pass if you have the means and the time to invest in going to all 4 days of PhenomeCon. It pays for itself. It really does. As far as what you get out of the investment. So I cannot recommend enough. But if you can only attend one day, then you know, quite obviously I'm biased, but I would say come on Saturday. Saturday is going to be the really awesome day where you get the Skinwalker Ranch panel and George Knapp and the closing reception and the live performance of Hitchhiker. So whatever you folks are able to do, go to www.phenomecon.net to learn more about all the speakers that are going to be presenting, as well as the various add-on activities and how you can register for attending PhenomeCon with either a 4-day, 2-day, or a 1-day pass. And again, that URL is www.phenomecon.net. We'll put that in the video description below so that you folks can have that for reference as well. So, Roger, there is one other event associated with PhenomeCon that I wanted to talk about real briefly, and that is an event that is not an official PhenomeCon sponsored event. Rather, it's something that you and I organize, right?
This is correct.
Right. And so this is a little activity that Roger and I do every year at PhenomeCon for Skinwalker Ranch insiders. And of course, the Skinwalker Ranch Insider Program is something that Roger and I belong to, and we've been members of since the very beginning, going back to, gosh, what was it, 2020, 2022, maybe, I think is when they launched it. But it's one of the best investments we've ever made, being Skinwalker Ranch insiders. And Roger is showing off his loyalty by wearing his Skinwalker Ranch insider T-shirt there, I think. But so we host this party always on the night before PhenomeCon begins, and we host it at a local restaurant in Vernal. And this year we are doubling the size and the space. There's a look at the venue that we're holding it at, the Vernal Brewing Company. And so we're going to be hosting this year 80 Skinwalker Ranch insiders, and it's just going to be a chance for Skinwalker Ranch insiders to get together and mix and mingle and get to know each other in a safe and relaxed environment the evening before PhenomeCon kicks off, when we all, get busy with the various activities that go on at PhenomeCon. But you can see from some of those pictures right there, folks, there's in the middle there is our dear friend Jeff Freeman, who joined us last year. And then on either side of that is pictures of some of the attendees that we had last year at the conference. And then, of course, there at the bottom, because it's me and because it's an event that I'm hosting, of course, there's tacos. And folks, let me tell you, the pulled pork tacos at Vernal Brewing Company are to die for. They are so good. So yeah, come out and I tell you to come out, but we're sold out to capacity, Raj. We don't have any more room for a wait list or a guest list. But next year, when we set this up for next year, if you're a Skinwalker Ranch insider, jump on this as quick as you can, because it's always a good time. And it's a great way, if you're a Skinwalker Ranch insider, to meet fellow Skinwalker Ranch insiders in person, again, in a very relaxed, very fun, very safe environment where we get to enjoy some truly fantastic food and some great drinks and even better company and getting to know each other a little bit better. And last year is where I got to meet John Nyberger. Attended this meetup that you and I hosted last year, Roger. So you make some great friends, some lifelong friends you're going to meet at PhenomeCon, and I certainly made one last year at this informal insider meetup that you and I hosted last year. So again, Roger, so many things about PhenomeCon to look forward to, and we'll wrap up here just kind of offering our own individual thoughts. And Roger, I'll let you kind of start things off. Just closing thoughts and remarks about PhenomeCon and why specifically you're so excited to attend this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think we both captured just the essence of PhenomeCon that's happened in the past, and just the excitement that PhenomeCon 2024 is going to offer. So for me, it's just the excitement to see even more people there. And what I alluded to and talking about earlier, excuse me, is the fact that this is a global community. This is a global event. There are so many people coming from all over. It's an amazing opportunity to not only network and get to know people, but again, it is a safe environment where you can share your experiences, right? Phenomicon tagline, we believe. And so, whatever your experience, you have believers there. You have people that have had similar, if not almost identical experiences to you. And this is an opportunity for you to open up, meet those people, and know that you are not alone. And that is one of the reasons I love Phenomicon so much, is because I have met so many kind and wonderful and beautiful people that are just, Jim, just near and dear to my heart and down to earth. And they understand the things that I have gone through in my life, and the things that, that we've talked about, that I have no explanation for. I don't know why these things happen, but there's like-minded people that share the same experiences that not only I've had, but you've had. And of course, you know, our listeners, you will definitely meet people that share your experiences as well. And again, this is just such a great opportunity to listen to so many great presenters. And this year, I think they've knocked it out of the park with how many people and presenters that they've got from so many different types of genres across the spectrum. It will be an amazing event. And with that, I am super, super excited to be there. And I am super excited to, again, meet additional people. Please don't be afraid to come up and say hello to Jim and I. Looking forward to that, and looking forward to the people that we've met in the past years and rekindling that in-person experience. So, yes, 100% excited. I am counting down the days. We've got less than a month to go. So, Jim, with that, I'll turn it over to you for the final thoughts.
Could not have said it better myself, Roger. Just a big amen to everything that you just said. There are so many great friends that I know will be lifelong friends that I've met just over the last three previous Phenomicons that I've attended. And Jeff Freeman, of course, being chief among them, but also again John Nyberger, Dennis Clark, uh, so many wonderful ladies like Mary Lee and Christy and Annie. Um, just the Skinwalker Ranch insider community and the folks that attend Phenomicon are some of the finest people I've had the pleasure of crossing paths with, and
And
I'm
don't
really
forget Miriam.
like,
Miriam is our
yeah,
wonderful friend.
Miriam as well. Yes, fantastic. And so it's just I'm looking forward to seeing these people again, many of whom I only see once a year in person. And so I'm really looking forward to, like you said, rekindling those connections that we made in previous years. And meeting new folks, lots of other folks that we haven't yet met in person. And like Roger said, please, if you see us there, come and say hello to us. I'm always easy to find because I'm a big guy, and especially when I'm wearing the Stetson, I'm going to stick out like a sore thumb. And I know I'm going to look intimidating and scary to some folks, but trust me, as Roger will tell you, I'm a big teddy bear for the most part, unless you make fun of me for being a Raiders fan. Well, no, I kind of expect folks to make fun of me for being a Raiders fan. It's just my lot in life. It's just, kind of goes with the territory, you would say. But in all seriousness, folks, Roger and I, if you see us there, we would love to meet you. Come and say hi to us. Feel free to join us outside during one of the lunch breaks for tacos. Um, Tacos really are a thing with me. Uh, so there's all kinds of things to look forward to, and of course, I hope that those of you that are going to be there on Saturday uh, are looking forward to that live performance as much as I am. And really, like you said, Roger, the it's a safe space. And in so many ways, again, it's like coming to a family reunion, the kind of reunion you want to go to, people that you genuinely love and appreciate and value. You get to see these people once a year if you're lucky, and getting to see these people again and give them hugs and listen to what they've been up to and get caught up with them and make new memories with these people and make new memories with new friends. It's all stuff that I look forward to. And this being my fourth year of PhenomeCon, again, it's something that my calendar year revolves around. It's just something that Roger and I we we budget what little money we have aside to splurge and go to this extraordinary event. And for those of you that are wondering that aren't sure what to make about attending a convention like this or a conference like this, trust me, Roger and I were in that same boat because from my standpoint, again, I've never been one of these woo people. I've never been one of the tinfoil hat crowd. Um, and so I was always kind of afraid because you see depictions, particularly in TV shows and movies of conventions, UFO, UAP, Bigfoot type conventions. There's a certain kind of fringe character as they're portrayed, a really odd stereotype, I guess you could say. And that's not at all what Roger and I are. And I'm happy to say that, yeah, you'll come across some folks that might be like that, but the overwhelming majority of people that attend PhenomeCon are people just like me and you, Roger, and you out there that are watching this, that are just regular people that just have a curiosity, that just want to know more. Is there really something to all these fascinating and extraordinary stories? And what greater opportunity do you have but to actually sit there and listen to presentations by people that are literally on the front lines of this topic, that have been part of the history of this topic? People like Jay Stratton, people like George Knapp, people like Dr. Travis Taylor, and all the guys at the Skinwalker Ranch team, and people that are doing research in the paranormal field like David Schrader, right? And the Cypress Paranormal and David Paulides, and just there's no shortage of people that are presenting this year that are just going to really help to make this PhenomeCon year the best year ever. And I have to give a tip of the hat once again to Bridget Lake and to Quinn and to Leisha and to Thomas Winterton and all the folks that are responsible for coming up with this great idea of PhenomeCon. Uinta County does such a phenomenal job, no pun intended, of putting together this conference. It is, I am so excited to be able to go and spend 5 days in the Uinta Basin and to contribute to this beautiful economy in Vernal and Uinta County, because they are such wonderful hosts, aren't they, Roger? I mean,
Oh,
Vernal is such a beautiful little town. Uh, Again, it feels like coming home every time we go to Vernal, and PhenomeCon is just it's like that, and that's the best endorsement that I can give it, is that it's money and time well spent. And again, my calendar year revolves around PhenomeCon and having the opportunity to renew those old friendships that I've made at previous PhenomeCons and making new friends and getting to reconnect with people like our friend Caleb Bench and the other guys at Skinwalker Ranch and Greg Lawson and Jay and Michelle. I'm really looking forward to seeing these people because these are awesome individuals on top of, the amazing things that they're connected to, right? And gosh, I just we're less than a month away, and I'm just chomping at the bit, Roger. It cannot September 3rd for you and I cannot get here soon enough. And I know I'm gonna just seize this opportunity with both hands and just hold on to it and make the most of it as much as I can and just live every moment, enjoy being in the moment of being at PhenomeCon and just soaking up the atmosphere and Yeah, cannot wait.
It'll be amazing.
Absolutely. So, folks, again, to learn more about PhenomeCon, go to www.phenomecon.net. Again, the link will be in the description below. And if you like what you've seen here, then please hit that subscribe button down below there and tell us, are you attending PhenomeCon? And if so, what are you looking forward to the most? What are some of the things that are on your agenda that you can't wait to participate in? We'd love to hear from you. And again, we're also on Facebook, so look for us on Facebook at the Soul of the Unexplained on Facebook. And yeah, just again, folks, thank you for your time. Thank you, Roger. Again, it's so good to see you back in the saddle here at the Soul of the Unexplained and attacking these crazy topics that we have such an interest in and passion for. And
Absolutely.
just be awesome, folks. Be healthy, be well. And the next time you see Roger and I, we're going to try to fit in a season, all-encompassing season 5 recap and review before PhenomeCon. But if that doesn't materialize by the end of August, then Roger and I will see you the next time at PhenomeCon. And again, we're less than a month away. So stay tuned, folks. We will see you very soon. See ya.